Hey everybody, I'm Christy Jordan with southernplate.com. Last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago by the time I get this up, I did a video on YouTube to discuss how to afford groceries. I have a neighbor that's doing something. How to afford groceries during times of rapid price increases. As I said in that video, a study has come out that says that household staples have risen as much as 69% in the last 2 years alone. But they've been rising for, the last 4 years they've been rising pretty rapidly. So anyway, my dog just hit the camera. One of the ways that you can save money, a lot of times you can buy things in bulk and put them up in the freezer, or buy things on sale and put them up. Another thing I suggested is buy now at today's prices, because the prices are going to continue to increase tomorrow. But for a lot of us, freezer space is at a premium. I actually have a deep freezer in addition to the freezer on top of my fridge, but I find that frozen foods is the one thing I'm always struggling to find places to put them, because I'm always out of space. I keep my freezer pretty full, which is a good thing. So one of the solutions for that is a dehydrator. And I'm going to show you, this is a really neat tip. I like to buy, it's much cheaper to buy vegetables frozen in large quantities. This is a bag from Sam's. This is 4 pounds, 8 ounces, so 4.5 pound bag of frozen corn. I've also got a 4.5 pound bag of frozen mixed vegetables. We like these a lot. Both of these, I use them a lot in casseroles, soups, stews, but a lot of people don't realize that you can dehydrate frozen vegetables and it saves a lot of space. And let me show you an example here. This bag, once it's dehydrated, it's going to be a little more than a jar's worth. I had a little more than this, but this is dehydrated vegetables, and I dehydrated these probably about, 6 months ago maybe, but they keep really well. And the great thing is they take up less space, they weigh less, which is not really much of a problem, but they take up less space, and they keep for a very long time in your pantry. So, you could put these anywhere in your house. They don't have to take up that precious freezer space. And then when it comes time to use them, you just rehydrate them. If I'm doing a soup or stew, I just pour some directly in the broth. And I have found that probably about 1/2 cup, or maybe a cup, equals one of these little bags in here. Let me open one of these bags. So you really use a lot less than you think you're going to use. I mean, keep in mind, this is 4.5 pounds of vegetables when they were frozen. So let me get this open. One of these is going to condense down. Maybe it'll be less than 1/2 cup for 12 ounces of these vegetables once I dehydrate them. This is some of my corn, which I've used a lot in the winter. I use it a lot in soups and stews. I like to make chicken stew. One of my problems with keeping corn is that it tastes so good. Just dehydrated corn. It's very sweet, and you got that nice crunch. I love dehydrated corn. So I have a problem keeping this jar around. I tend to keep that empties really fast. But anyway, so we're going to move on to the dehydrator now, and I'm going to show you how simple it is to dehydrate these vegetables and free up your freezer space. Buy vegetables in bulk, dehydrate them. They're shelf stable at room temp, going to be frozen, and it takes up a lot less space. So we'll move on to the dehydrator. Okay, now we've got all our vegetables. I've got 6 12-ounce bags of super sweet frozen corn, and 6 12-ounce bags of mixed vegetables. Got them all out. This is my Excalibur 9-tray dehydrator with a timer on it. I bought myself this for Christmas this year. Some people want jewelry and stuff, and that's all good and well, but this is something that's useful. It's an investment. It can help my family, it can save us money, and make our lives more convenient. So I bought this. You do not have to have this dehydrator. For years before I had this one, I used one that was a generic one of the round dehydrators with the trays that I got from Gander Mountain on sale. So any dehydrator will work. Do not feel like you have to go get, this is kind of a Cadillac model, but you do not have to have this. Anyway, what I'm going to do, take my door off, and I'm just going to take the trays out one by one. And I'm going to put about 2 bags of vegetables on each tray. And just kind of spread them out a little bit. You don't want to overload it, but when I'm doing this many vegetables at once, I also kind of need to maximize as much space as I can. So I am doing, normally I would only do like you know, the mixed vegetables or the corn at once and spread out a little more. But I want to get these suckers frozen because they're taking up too much space in my freezer, and I really don't have the space available right now. I try to save that freezer space as much as I can for meat and things, because I can always find that on sale. I usually try to hit the stores a couple times a week looking for deals on meat, because that's the most expensive part of the meal. Okay, now as this dehydrates, it's going to get smaller. So it will take up a lot less space by the time I pull it out. And I'm going to continue until I load up all the trays with corn and mixed vegetables. That's one bag of corn. Like I said, I am loading these pretty heavily. Not necessarily recommending that you load these heavily, but it'll work. The Excalibur can take it. And like I said, you know, any dehydrator works. Look into what financial options are available for you. You know, what you can afford, and get the best that you can afford. But they're all really good. I use that one for years and years. We dehydrate stuff all the time, especially in the summer. When the garden's coming in, we dehydrate everything. If we have bananas going bad, we make banana chips. We have apples going bad, we make apple chips. Sometimes we just do experiments and dehydrate, and I'll be sharing some more of our experiments with you. We've come up with some really neat things that you can have by dehydrating. Okay, so I'll be back in just a minute when I have all these trays loaded up. Okay, so I've got all my trays loaded here. Well, most of them. I ended up not using some of them, but I could have spread my vegetables out a little more, but this is going to be just fine. You'll see in the morning when they're dehydrated. I'm going to put my lid on here. And then if you'll notice, most dehydrators on the top, they'll have like a chart, and it'll tell you what temperature, you know, to turn it to. Both of mine I've ever had have done this. So I've got it on the vegetables temperature here, and I'm going to set this timer to about, I think I'll start with about 14 hours. You can find charts that tells you how long to dehydrate vegetables and this and that. I usually just make sure it runs overnight and I check it on in the morning. It'll be fine. The only thing you want to get particular about is fruit. You want to keep those because you don't want to over dry your fruit, but these I want them dry as I can get them. So we're going to get this started dehydrating, and tomorrow I'll show you our results. Okay, so the next morning we've got, let's see what we got. We've dehydrated overnight. Oh, wrong one. Here are our frozen mixed vegetables. Here's our corn. You see it's all nice and dry now. And now what I'm going to do is take these and I'll put them in a jar like this. I've vacuum sealed this one with my food saver, but you don't have to vacuum seal. You certainly don't. You can just put it in there and put the lid on. Well, you know, that's all you got to do. So that this is a little less than an entire bag, that whole big bag that we saw. I would need about another jar. I'd fill up another jar like this about halfway to be done with a complete bag of those. That's how little space it takes up. This is about a dozen green bell peppers that I found on sale. And see, I just chopped them and dehydrated them. I can use those in casseroles, soups, and stews. And let me show you what this looks like reconstituted here. So these are some of these same mixed veggies that I went ahead and, you know, all I did is I just add water to cover, and then I bring to a boil, and then I drain, and that's it. And if you're doing soups or stews or something, you don't even have to do that. You just toss them directly in dry. Here's some of the corn that I did. It tastes like canned corn. You know, it's delicious. It's very sweet, but takes up considerable less space and doesn't require refrigeration or freezer to store. So dehydrating, you know, this is a good option for those of y'all if you like food preservation, if you can and freeze and put up food in order to save money, in order to preserve your harvest. There's all kinds of ways. A lot of people overlook dehydrating as a means of even just saving freezer space, you know, being able to take advantage of the deals and still save freezer space. So, you know, I realize not everybody has a dehydrator, but I just wanted to present this as this is an option you might want to consider. And, you know, like I said, any dehydrator will work. This will save you money. It'll allow you to store vegetables for a very long period of time without taking up precious freezer space. These can go in your bedroom closet, anywhere that shelf you don't use. You can fill it with these vegetables and leave your freezers free. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and y'all have a great day. See you on southernplate.com.